Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back with a brand new series. Today we are playing some Subnautica. This is an open world survival game that is by no means new. It came out I think over a year ago now in early access, and it's still in early access to this day, but recently they came out with a new release and the game kind of caught my eye. It kind of slipped by me for the last year. I never really played it. I never owned the game, but I saw a bunch of people playing it with the new update and it kind of caught my attention, so I bought it. I've been playing around with it a little bit over the past day, and it's a pretty cool game, so I figured I would make a new series, and without further ado, we are going to start a new game. There's a couple of game modes: survival, freedom, hardcore, and creative. We're going to play on survival mode. We need to avoid dangerous creatures, find resources, and manage hunger and thirst to survive. So, the loading screen here can be a little bit long, as it says at the bottom there, and there is a little bit of an intro cutscene that comes after this, which I'm going to let you watch. It's not very long, it's a pretty short one, and basically this game tasks us with surviving on our own. We crash land in an ocean, and we just have to survive. We have to scavenge for resources, craft things in our little crafting terminal that we have, build a new base, expand, and basically thrive in this hostile world that we land in, and it's a pretty cool game. I haven't played too far into it. I've played about an hour kind of on my own in single player, but it looks pretty good from what I've played so far. It looks pretty interesting, and without further ado, I will let you watch this cutscene.
Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship.
Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so that's it. That is the intro cutscene done and over, and this is our base of operations for the time being. So, the whole point of this game is to go out into the ocean, and we are kind of pre-outfitted with this scuba diving outfit, and we're going to gather some resources, we're going to gather some fish so that we can eat, we're going to use those fish to get water, we're going to use these resources to build new stuff, new bases. I apologize if there were any like big frame rate dips throughout this video. The game is in early access. It's really weird. Like sometimes I'll be going around and getting really high frame rates, and then suddenly it'll just tank. I'm not quite sure why, but not much I can do about that in its current state. We have a few things. We have this guy over here, the fabricator, which basically acts as like a powered crafting table. We can craft all these stuff. We've got resources, substance, personal, and deployables, and inside all this stuff, there are like basic materials, advanced materials, electronics, a bunch of stuff that we can craft and use to survive and thrive in this new environment. Over here we have ourselves a little chest, which we can go ahead and dump some stuff in. We have been given some things by default.
Trend is consistent with ongoing degradation of the Aurora's dark matter drive core due to damage sustained during collision. Continuing to monitor.
So every so often we do get little messages that come through from, I'm not quite sure where, but we get little notifications. And we also have this thing over here, which I think is new, this communications relay. When we're in the little cutscene in the beginning doesn't have this on the wall, so it makes me think it's new. But basically we can play messages. I have no idea what they do. It just says, like, it doesn't say anything. So, I'm not quite sure what that's all about. But, yeah, we have the chest. We have the crafting table. We can craft stuff. I'm going to call it a crafting table because Minecraft. But, it's just like it's a fabricator. But to start with, we need to head on out and we need to gather some stuff. So, first things first, we should probably gather some fish because our hunger down in the bottom left there is currently at 43%. And using the fabricator, if I can... that fish got away. Using the fabricator, we can actually cook up some fish. And we can also, I guess, like squeeze them. I think that fish is a bit too big. We do have to be careful because a lot of the fish that are kind of bigger than us, you can see we caught that one. But a lot of the bigger fish can actually attack us, which is something we do have to be wary of. We'll take as many of those as possible. But yeah, we can also get fresh... Whoa! You look... Oh, what?
Emergency.
Okay, okay, we got some quartz, that's good. We also have oxygen in the bottom left there, as you can see. And I think that our first task today should probably be to get ourselves an oxygen tank. So I'm really quickly going to head on back in here, go to our fabricator, and I believe there is a recipe for an oxygen tank we can use. Personal equipment. So for an oxygen tank, we need 2 titanium and 2 glass. And if we look at resources, basic materials, titanium is made using scrap metal or metal salvages, and glass is made using quartz. We have 1 quartz, we need 2 to make glass, and then metal salvages are kind of just like pieces of ship that have landed around the place. So we're going to have to do a little bit of exploring. We'll grab as many fish as we can along the way. We do have an inventory, and there is like a limit to how much stuff we can carry if we press tab. It comes up with this little interface here, so you can see we've got 3 quartz, 2 of these fish, and certain things do take up quite a bit more inventory space than others. So let's do a little bit of exploring here. The game looks beautiful, by the way. I am on the highest settings here, so it looks pretty nice. Again, the frame rate is a little iffy from time to time. We are going to need some of these acid mushrooms, actually. I'll go ahead and take a few of those. Oh, what's up? There we go. Okay, cool. Now it actually shouldn't be that hard. Here we go. This is what a metal salvage looks like. Let's go ahead and grab one of these. Thank you very much. And let's see if we can quickly find one more. You usually find, or I tend to find, them close by. Like I said, I haven't played it all that much, so when I say I tend to find them close by, it could just be coincidence that I found it once or twice close by. There is a bit of a reef over there, and we are going to have to head that way in order to progress. So by the end of today's episode, I do want to have a little bit of a base up and running, break limestone. So we can actually go ahead and break limestone like with our hands, I guess, or we can like beat this fish against the rock.
May cause a quantum detonation. Calculating risk assessment. Death by malnourishment, 7%. By physical injury, 11%. By exposure to radioactive crash site materials, 19%. If the drive core is breached, probability of death increases to 65%. Emergency, 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
So she does an awful lot of talking, and also this thing over here, which I assume is the ship that we were on before we kind of like emergency exit on our pod. This thing is going to blow up. I think that it's like random at what point that does actually blow up, but it will blow up, and we have to not be within its radius when it does. But anyway, let's go over to our fabricator. Let's quickly whip up some titanium and some glass. It's got a bit of a cool animation here, and then we'll grab some glass, and then we should be able to make ourselves our very first oxygen tank. We can. So we'll go ahead and do that. You can see right now we've got 45. Current capacity. It goes up to 75, so we can now survive like a little bit longer. There is no place to put the oxygen like on us. There's no like equip slot. We kind of just carry it around in our inventory. So I'm assuming that we could probably make like a few of these and carry like multiple around at once. I'm not too sure though. That's like me just completely guessing at this point. Right, what else do I want? So the next thing I think we're going to work towards is the habitat builder, which is what allows us to actually start to build a base that is not with inside of this little pod that we've got. And for this, we need a computer chip and a battery, which are some electronic devices. Battery we can already make, which is why I picked up those acid mushrooms and the copper ore. So we'll go ahead and craft that up real quick. And then the second thing is the computer chip, which requires some silver ore, as well as some table coral samples. Now, I think in order to get some table coral samples, we need to get ourselves a knife, which is over here. And to get that, we need some silicon rubber. And I know for a fact that to get some silicon rubber, we need to head on over. Actually, before we do that, we should probably look at our hunger and our thirst. So let's quickly cook up a few of these fishes. We'll go to cook fish, and we'll cook this air sack that we've got. Beautiful, and we'll go ahead and cook up another one of those, why not? We already have some water in the storage, so that's not too big of a deal. Let's come over here, and we'll take you and you out, and then we should just be able to drink, eat, and eat, and that's done us pretty well. We're only on 74. We had that fish that exploded in our face, which did take a fair bit of health off of us, but that's fine. So now I want to head towards those, like, big vines that we saw a second ago. Now, where the heck are they? Alright, so a little while later, I have found myself some more of these big vines. And on these vines, as you can see kind of down here, are these like little glowing sacks of stuff. And if we were to head on closer, we can in fact harvest these and use them. These creeper vines? Yeah, we can go ahead and grab these creeper vine seeds, and we can use these to make the silicon, I think it is, that we need to make our first knife. So these do actually take up quite a bit of storage space. You can see certain items only take up 1 little square, and some take up 4, which is quite a nice way, or quite an innovative way, I think, of using inventory space. Because sometimes, you know, you're carrying big stuff around, and it makes absolutely no sense. Like, I think it's still a little unrealistic that we're carrying these massive hunks of metal around on our backs, but it's a little bit more realistic when it takes up, like, quite a few inventory slots. Also, did I mention how beautiful this game is? Like, look at this thing. That ship over there, and then that, like, massive planet that we've got in front of us, that thing is beautiful. Okay, so we're going to head back this way. I did grab quite a few more pieces of metal salvage on the way over, which is good, because when we want to build new pieces of our base, we do, in fact, need quite a lot of titanium, which is made using this metal salvage, in order to get a new base up and running. I don't think we can carry this, can we? Oh, here we go.
Suggest a quantum detonation has occurred in the Aurora's drive core. The central dark matter reactor will reach a supercritical state. 80 minus.
Okay, this thing's gonna blow up.
8.
This thing is gonna blow up big time. I think we're far enough away for it to not matter.
3, 2.
Well, okay, I'm going to head back inside. That was quite something, my goodness. But we do now have enough resources to go ahead and make ourselves some silicon rubber. And then once that's done, I'm fairly certain that we can make ourselves the knife. We can. And now we should be able to, if I'm not mistaken, use this knife to get ourselves the stuff to make a computer chip, which is the table coral sample. So, if I'm not mistaken, again, I think we have some of this pretty close by. I'm fairly certain that it's kind of like a, it's not there, they're the mushrooms. It looks like a bit of a staircasey kind of thing attached to the side of some of these rocks. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the ocean, I don't think it actually changes when night arrives. Like, I don't think there are any, like, extra mobs that are around when night comes, but it seems just a little bit scarier when I swim around the ocean at night. And I think it might be because the fish light up, you can see them a lot more clearly in the dark. What is this? That's a purple fan, that's not what we're after. I saw some, like, not a few minutes ago when I was swimming around, and I have no idea where the heck it's gone. What the heck is this? Red table coral. This is red table coral. I don't think it matters which color table coral we use. So let's pull our knife out here. At the bottom, we have a bit of a hotbar. And we can use that to assign certain items. Right now, our knife is set to number 1. I think we can break this, right? Yeah, we can. Okay, so right-click breaks all this. And then we can head on down and pick all this stuff up. Our inventory is probably a little full, but that's fine. Let's pick up quite a few of these. And then we should be able to use those to make that computer chip. Oh, okay, don't want to die of lack of oxygen. I wish there was a way to kind of track or look up recipes for stuff whilst you're out and about, because as of right now, I've got to head back to my little pod here every time I want to find a recipe. But I guess that's fine, I guess. All right, let's have a look. Personal electronics, actually. Let's go to electronics. We are missing some silver. Ooh, okay. So as far as I know, the only way to get any kind of ore is to mine those little rocks that we saw kind of like further down in the ocean. I think it's kind of random chance what you're going to get out of them. It might tell you, I'm not too sure, but let's head down a little bit and let's see if we can find another one of those rocks and see if we can get ourselves just a little bit of silver ore. We'll also take some quartz. Oh, inventory's full. Ooh. Oh. Okay, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to dump a couple of items in the chest back in my pod. I'm going to search around a little bit for some silver ore, and I'll be back in a second. All right, so a little while later, we now actually have ourselves some silver. It took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take, but eventually we did find some. We also got like a ton more copper and gold. Like the first time I played it, I got silver really quickly. That time I got just a ton of copper and gold. It was crazy, but we can now make ourselves the habitat builder. And if we go ahead and grab this guy real quick, I can actually show you how some of the base building works within this game. So, if we press 2 now on our hotbar, we have the fabricator. And if we right click, we have all the stuff that we can build. So, for example, the first thing we're going to want to build is some foundation here. You can see it requires 4 titanium. Right now, we don't actually have that much titanium, but if we head on back into our base, we can make quite a bit more using all of the scrap metal that we've got. So, let's quickly whip up a few more of those. And I think we also have some more scrap metal kind of lying about in our chest. So I will do that. Let's go over to here. Let's dump a few things, like maybe some of this copper ore that we don't need, and then let's try and get some of the scrap metal back out, like So, I'm trying to make space for it. There we go. And then let's use that to go ahead and make ourselves a little bit more titanium. And hopefully that'll be enough to get a bit of a nice base going here. I'd like to build a couple of those foundation blocks as well as one of our first rooms. So, let's go over here. Let's click foundation. And we can build these pretty much wherever we want. Now, I kind of want a bit of a flat space. I think I'm going to go... Well, this isn't really flat, is it? I might move over here a little bit and go somewhere like... that, I think, and then we kind of hold this down. It's going to go ahead and finish building it. And once that's done, we can go ahead and build another one. And like I said, I like to get maybe a bit of a square going on here. I think each one of these uses 4 titanium. Let me check that real quick. Is that true? It is. How much do we have left? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 13 left. So if we use 2 more of these, it's going to be 8. And then one of these multi-purpose rooms is going to cost 6. So let's build a multi-purpose room first. Unfortunately, you can't really get it too central. It's always on one side here. So I'm going to put it on a corner, like right about there. Hopefully we don't drown before this thing finishes. Let's quickly go grab ourselves a bit of oxygen. Good stuff. And then all we need to do after that is make ourselves a hatch, which does require a little bit of glass, which thankfully is only just some quartz, which we do have. And then we're good to go. And the hatch is going to allow us to get into there. And then once we're into there, we have ourselves a new place to get oxygen from, or a new little place to be safe from the sea creatures, but also the start of our brand new base. So let's go ahead and make some silicon. Some glass even. One thing we do need to make actually is some of these fins. Do we have enough to make 2 more silicon rubber? I think we do with the stuff we have in the chest here, because one thing I didn't make that I probably should have made before we moved out and about and started looking for a lot of silver. Oh, we don't actually have any more. Okay, we're going to have to get some more of those creeper seeds in order to get the silicon. But one thing I didn't get is fins, which allow us to swim up and down a lot faster, which would have saved me a ton of time, because when I was doing it just then, I spent a lot of time going up and down trying to get oxygen, which takes a lot of time. But here we go. Let's go ahead and make ourselves one of these, and now we can enter. Look at this. So we have ourselves a room. Right now, there is no power within this room. If we go over here and look at power, you can see there's nothing we can build just yet. And that's because we need to find blueprints in order to build some of the stuff like solar panels, generators, and stuff like that to get power into our new base. But we can build some of the appliances. For instance, we can get ourselves a fabricator and stick it down like on the wall over here. Boom. And once we get next episode, what we'll do is we'll come back, we'll make ourselves a scanner, which I don't think we can look in here. No, we can't because we don't have any power. But we can make what's known as a scanner, which is very similar to this item that I have in my hand right now. But it allows us to scan things around the seabed. And once you get the blueprints to make some solar panels or some generators or anything that can provide us with power, we can go ahead and set those up in here, get this thing up and running. And we can even start to build, like off from this, we can go and build ourselves like a corridor. Like this. Let me have a look real quick, actually. What is a glass corridor? The glass corridor sounds kind of cool. How much quartz do we have? We've only got 1 left on us. I think there might be more in the chest, but I guess for now what we'll do is we'll build like just a normal corridor like this. Come on, let me try and connect this up. I'm not quite sure if there's a way to rotate stuff in this game. I'm assuming there probably is, but for some reason I cannot actually get this corridor to go. I can get it there, I guess? You know what? Sure, why not? We'll put a corridor there. We could then, if we wanted to, or if we had enough glass or titanium, we could put another hatch on the end there, or we could put another one of these multi-purpose rooms on the end here and have like a nice corridor and put things in different rooms and do stuff like that. And this is it. This is the start of our base, and what we're going to do is we're going to come back next time. We're going to do some more research, find some more stuff, expand a little bit, and make a pretty cool base. But yeah, with that, guys, I'm going to end this first episode of Subnautica there. As always, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit like. It really does help out a lot. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.